So unless you're one of those lucky people who has a calisthenics park near their house or has a pull-up bar somewhere near their house, you might think that your options for training your back is quite limited. However, I'm going to show you some ways where you can do pull-ups as well as completely different exercises that actually are really effective at training your back that really need no equipment at all. So some obvious locations that you can do pull-ups at that you might not have thought about. First one is if you find a nearby tree, it's got a really sturdy branch, you can very easily do pull-ups on those. The branch might not be completely flat, so you want to make sure you switch your angle so you don't have too much muscle imbalance, but a tree is really effective. And another location besides trees that you can do pull-ups at, if your house has a porch that's hanging, as long as it's not too high from the ground to where you can like actually jump up and do pull-ups on that, that's pretty effective. Do have is a staircase. I can use the back of it. That's pretty good at doing pull-ups. You really got to be creative at finding locations where you can actually hang. Your body's not going to know a difference between a pull-up bar and any other location that you can hang and do pull-ups at. So let's say you don't have trees nearby, or there's nowhere around your house where you can actually hang off of. There's no porch, there's no back of staircases. There are still very effective exercises that you can do that only require you having a floor. So let's get into those. All right, so there's 3 exercises I'm about to show you that need no equipment. One's for the lats, one's for the upper back, and then one is for the lower back. So the first exercise is going to be called the floor lat pull down. This one is where you're going to need your socks and a slippery floor because you're going to be sliding a little bit with your feet. You want to make sure when you start your arms are nice and straight, and you want to pull with only your lats, and you try and keep a full body tension, so you squeeze your glutes, squeeze your abs, and you're only pulling from your lats. And that's a nice exercise for training and isolating the lats. The lat pull down is by far the more challenging out of the 3. However, the other 2 don't really target the lats, so you want to make sure that you are doing this exercise at least a little bit. So the next exercise is going to be called the back widow. This one is for your upper back. It's where you lay flat on the ground with your legs bent and your arms are a little bent, so you try and pull your elbows together, and it lifts your upper body up off of the ground. And you don't want any support from your lower legs, so you're only pulling from your upper body, and you want to squeeze at the top of the exercise as well as the bottom. After a few reps, you'll really notice a nice little pump happening in the back, and it's going to work your upper back quite well. And then the third exercise is going to be called Superman's. This one is more commonly known out of these 3, and it's where you lay flat on the ground with your chest on the ground, and you lift your upper body and your lower body at the same time. Lower back is the only thing touching the ground, and you really squeeze at the top of that exercise to feel your lower back activate. You bring it back down, and you do those for reps, and that is a great way to target your lower back. And with these 3 exercises, that will get you a fully effective back workout where you target pretty much every single muscle in your back, and it really needs no equipment at all. So I'm about to show you 2 more exercises that will require the floor again. However, this one does require one more piece of equipment, which is almost everyone has at their house, and it's a towel. So before doing any of these exercises, with your towel is strong enough so there's no like rips, because you might be pulling on it pretty hard. So don't say anything if you accidentally break your towel. And then also what I like to do is fold it a few times to make it a bit more stronger and a bit smaller. So the first exercise with the towel that you can do, and in my opinion is probably the most effective out of every single one that I'm about to show you or have already shown you, and it's called laying down towel pull-ups with your chest on the ground again, and you have your arms straight so the towel's like right in front of you, and then you lift your chest up off the ground, and then you bring that towel towards your chest, and you really want to pull that towel apart as you're pulling it in, and you want to squeeze at the top of that exercise. You really feel your upper back activating, and it's a really good way to simulate a pull-up if you can't do a pull-up, or if you don't even have a pull-up bar at your house. And then the final exercise you can do with the towel, and this is why you want a sturdy, strong towel, but what you're gonna do is get a good grip of the towel, make sure you fold it a few times so it's nice and strong, and then you bring it out in front of you and you just try and pull apart the towel, and it's gonna be it's pretty similar to what you can do with resistance bands, but with the resistance band, obviously your hands are moving, it's gonna be pull apart, but since the towel isn't as elastic as a resistance band, it's not gonna go anywhere, but you're still working your muscles because it is an isometric contraction, so it's gonna be a static hold, similar to, the front lever, where you're not actually moving, but your muscles are still working and trying to produce force. So this one is a nice little finisher at the end of your workout. You just try and pull apart that towel as much as you can, and you will really feel your rear delt working as you're trying to pull that towel apart. So with all those exercises that I just showed you, most of them are like vertical pulling variations to the pull-up, because that's what most people want to do, but there is another way to train your pulling strength and your back, which is by doing horizontal pulling like rows, and a great way to do that is by using a nice sturdy table and just doing Australian rows on those if you don't have like a barbell or anything to really do rows on. So this one's pretty effective as well, but you do want to be careful because there is a lot of weight being pulled on one side of the table, so you either need some counterweight, something really heavy on the other side of the table, or just a really long and sturdy heavy table that you can do this exercise on. So now that I've shown you a bunch of back exercises that you can do without a pull-up bar, you can click here to watch a full beginner calisthenics workout that I personally use to get where I am right now. Thank you for watching.